Welcome to my channel. Thank you guys so much for joining us today. I'm Diamond Janae and you're watching Off the Record Fashions. Before you get started, make sure you subscribe so we can keep in touch. Anyways, as you guys know, I am a new mom. My son just turned 1, which means that I've had like the most insane year of my life. He's our first and only kid and it's just been like such a crazy year. So anyways, today's video is about the things they don't tell you about being pregnant. So I got pregnant and there was this whole 9 months of like, what the heck is going on? So I know there's books, there's the internet, there's all these things, there's mom groups, whatever, but there's nothing like talking to someone like directly and getting those questions out there and just hearing from someone else's experience about what happened and what's going on, because there was a lot of really good information in the books that I read, but there was also stuff that like just no one told me on like a regular Google search or just reading what to expect when expecting. There's a lot of like scientific things about pregnancy and what this trimester means, but it was still missing a lot of stuff. So I'm here today to help you guys along that journey. So if you're new to being pregnant or it's been a while and you kind of forgot what's going on, then this is your lucky day. I wanted to make sure I did this video before too much time passed and then I kind of forgot the experience. So here we go. I made a list because I didn't really want to forget anything. So the things they don't tell you about pregnancy, and this is in no particular order, it's just like crazy crap that I wrote down and was like, wait, don't forget to say this. So anyways, one thing is like, you can't breathe. Like literally, you can't breathe. Like I knew that I would gain weight and all of that stuff, so maybe being a little heavier kind of affects your body, but I really think it's just the fact that all of your insides, I saw like a picture, all of your insides are literally being like shoved up here so the baby can grow down there. So everything is being pushed out of whack to make room for that growing fetus inside of your stomach, and you can't breathe. Like half the time I'd walk from my desk to the trash can at work and I'm just like like the severity of catching my breath was insane. So yeah, you can't breathe. Be prepared for that. No matter how big or small you are, there's still something shifting all of your insides around. Oh, one of my pregnancy things was indigestion. I got indigestion like in the middle of my 2nd trimester and I still have indigestion. It's a whole year later. My son's 1 year old in this world and I still have indigestion. So needless to say, some of this crap doesn't go away. So there's things that happen when you're pregnant. Like I got indigestion. Some people get heartburn. It's usually either or. You might be really unlucky and get both. But I got indigestion. Some people get like food aversions. Like my friend's mom hated garlic while she was pregnant and it's been like 30 years and she still cannot stand the taste of garlic. So things like that, like some of the stuff that happens when you're pregnant aren't just reserved for pregnancy. Like your body changes and your taste bud changes and there's all these things in your life that are changing and that are happening and they might not change back. So I didn't know that and I was really irritated when I'm still like having indigestion when I'm eating hot foods or pasta with the pasta sauce and things like that. In my head, I was just like, oh, after I have the baby, this will happen. Everything will go back to normal and blah, 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 blah. No, not true. Don't trick yourself into believing it. Maybe it will, maybe it won't. Every single person's body is very different. So, keep that in your pretty head. So another thing on my list is breastfeeding. Yay! So we're in the 21st century and we know by now that breastfeeding is what's best for your child. However, fed is what's best for your child. But if we have the option, breastfeeding is a really good option. It saves you money. It's good for the baby. It provides lots of nutrients. It has lots of benefits. So if you can do it, go ahead and do it. However, what I didn't know was that your milk may come in before you have the baby, or it may come in a week or two after you have the baby. So you can have a baby and not even have the option of breastfeeding for a couple of days. Like, maybe it's there, maybe it's not. It's nothing wrong either way. Everybody's body is totally different. That's one thing. The other thing about breastfeeding is that it hurts. No, people don't really tell you it hurt. They're like, oh, it's so beautiful. Like, just look at your baby there. It's just such a wonderful thing. And it is. That's not a lie. But the other part of it is that it hurts, especially in the beginning. It does get better, but the beginning, it hurts a lot. And so your boobs are getting full of all this milk, and it needs to release. So if you can't release it right away, it's gonna hurt. Then the killer is when you stop, it still hurts. And it hurts for like weeks. Like bad. Like your blood vessels feel like cement is like running through them and slowly drying and cracking. That's what it feels like. Cement is running through your blood veins, drying and cracking on the inside of your skin. And you can't do anything about it except to release. But when you're stopping breastfeeding, you can't release that often, or your body continues to make milk, which means you'll never stop. So you have to just deal with the pain. Walk around with cracked cement in your boobs for weeks and just deal with it. And you can't complain about it because it's weird and it's like, oh, taboo, oh, she's crying because her milk is drying up, blah, blah, blah. So you just deal with it so you're not like that person. Yeah, so that. And then what else about breastfeeding? You leak. Yeah, you leak. There's just puddles of like milk. It doesn't stop when you're not pumping or when your baby's not sucking on your nipples or whatever. It doesn't stop. It keeps going. So all of a sudden you look down and it looks like you're in the middle of a wet t-shirt contest. Like, except it's like gross, stinky breast milk. That happens. Like, I swear you need like a leak-proof shirt or something, but I don't even think that exists. So you're stuck with like these little pads that you stick inside your bra that you have to like change every hour or whatever, depending on how much you're leaking. We really need a better system for that. Poop. See, my list is in no particular order. I was just like, yeah, poop. Baby poop is legit the worst smelling thing in your life. Baby poop, you'd think, well, at least I thought, maybe I was naive. Maybe. I thought that it's a baby. How bad could it be? Don't ever deceive yourself that bad. It's baby poop and it is horrible. Baby poop is worse than grown man poop. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because babies eat a regularly well-balanced diet. So they have all this stinky milk and lots of vegetables and purees and things that are good for their body. So they poop a lot, and then it's like backed up peas and carrots and oatmeal and grains, and it just stinks. Grown men poop stays in one designated area, and if it doesn't, you need to get rid of that man, because that's a problem. But baby poop does not stay in one designated area. Baby poop stays wherever the heck it wants to stay. In fact, it's not even called poop, it's shit. It's legit shit. And baby shit goes everywhere. Baby shit on you. Baby shit on him. Baby shit on the floor. Literally, there was baby shit on my floor. And I was stuck scrubbing the carpet for 3 days trying to get shit out of my floor. Enjoy your new baby. Morning sickness. I've heard it, but I didn't realize that it was to the extent that it is. So morning sickness is not just sickness in the morning. I had morning sickness all day. I was at work puking in the bathroom before my job even knew that I was pregnant, and I just had to come out and tell them before I was ready to tell the world, because I didn't want my coworkers to think I was bulimic, because I just kept getting caught vomiting in stalls like every other day, because there's no time frame on morning sickness. Morning sickness can happen at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Morning sickness also isn't just like, oh, I'm sick for like an hour, excuse me, let me just like lay down. It's like, oh, I feel nauseous. Hold on. And then 3 hours later, you still feel nauseous. And then every time you eat, you still feel nauseous. And every time you drink, you still feel nauseous. And there's all these little tips on the internet that's like, oh, drink ginger. Oh, drink lemon. Oh, peppermint's great. Oh, that crap don't work. You just deal with it. And I mean, yeah, no, that's true. As long as you're not losing too much weight, as long as you're not unhealthy, then you deal with it. And they will take special precautions if you are like losing a substantial amount of weight and the baby's not healthy, things like that. But otherwise, you just have to deal with it. Oh, another thing, some people lose weight while they're pregnant. I was losing weight for about 4 months during my pregnancy. I wasn't getting smaller, technically. I just stayed the same weight. But the baby was growing, so the baby was getting bigger. And I stayed the same weight, which meant that I was getting smaller. I was eating and all of those things, but I was really sick, so I was eating. I'd make sure I snacked. So just recommendation, if you are having a hard time keeping things down and stuff like that, just try to be consistent in snacking, even if it's toast, a piece of fruit, applesauce, something like that, just so you're constantly getting calories, because the baby is going to take what the baby needs. It's a natural process. There's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing the baby can do about it. The baby will take all of your nutrients, and then there's nothing left for you. So I started losing weight. My face got really sunken in for a few months. And I wasn't starving myself. I was eating and I was throwing up. So nothing really stayed down. And then the little bit of nutrients that my body held on to, the baby took. So just stay encouraged, keep pushing yourself. Just try to eat as much as possible. Never not eat because you're not feeling well. Like I said, even if it's some crackers, a couple bites of toast, whatever, do what you can. What else? Oh, doctor's appointments. Nobody told me I had to go to the doctor like 15 times during this pregnancy. Like 15 to 20 doctor's appointments. So in the beginning, you go to find out if you're pregnant. That's one. And then they're like, hey, so come back in about a month and then we'll do an ultrasound. So I took a pregnancy test, which I'd already did at home. And they were like, oh, yeah, you're pregnant. Well, thanks. Gee, I don't know how to use a pregnancy test. And then you come back in like 2.5 to 3 months and they do the sonogram and you see your little like circle, the little dot on the thing, and you're like, oh, that's my dot. And then you come back in like another month and you get to hear the heartbeat. And then you come back in another month and you get to find out the sex of the baby. But then sometimes there's 2 different appointments, because I met with my OB once a month for the first 7 months, for the first 7 months. And then sometimes I met with my OB and with the x-ray technician, which was a whole separate appointment because the x-ray technician does different things with more elaborate equipment. And then I also had a couple, like, you have a glucose test where you drink this crap and it just tastes like orange soda with no fizz. Like extra, like orange soda mixed with orange Kool-Aid, but no fizz. So you're just drinking this like orange sugar water, and you got to try not to gag and throw it up because you need it in order for them to see the test. And it wasn't terrible for me, but when you're pregnant, everybody handles things different. So I know a lot of people who had to go back 2 and 3 times to take this test. And then you have to try not to get gestational diabetes. You'll be miserable the rest of your pregnancy. You won't be allowed to eat anything but like grass and nuts. So don't do that. And then so after like 7.5 months, I started going every 2 weeks. And then once you are 8 months, you go once a week. So it was about 15 to 20 doctor's appointments that no one warned me about. I was a little annoyed because we have to pay for parking at my doctor's office every single time you go. So yeah, that was about $8 times 20 just for parking, not even including my copay. But you know, you do it for the little one. And lastly, I'm gonna mention this because I had a friend who's had a kid before and she didn't even know this was a thing. So there's this thing called a mucus plug, and it's like the layer, you can Google it, but it's like the layer in between the baby and you, pretty much. So this is the baby, this is the layer that's out of your vagina. So it's just like a thick layer, not super thick, but I don't know, just guessing, like a layer of mucus. So while you're pregnant, this protects the baby from outside germs, things coming in to its house, which is, I don't know, the little sack it's in, and it protects the baby from all outside things coming in and keeps it safe inside. And then throughout your pregnancy, it thins out. It gets thinner and thinner and thinner. And then towards the end, it should be like almost non-existent, and it falls out. Literally, mine fell out the day before I went into labor, in the shower. And you could not even notice it, but it's literally like if you snotted and got like a big, like, I don't know, ball of like snot, and it was like, ugh. Because it's like gross. And so as it's thinning out, there's, over the 9 months you're pregnant, as it's thinning out, it's like releasing mucus. So you get this 9 months of like gross discharge, just like releasing all day. And you like have to change. Literally, I probably bought like 100 pair of new underwear while I was pregnant. Like, you're literally like changing. I don't know how thick everyone's is. It's nasty, but I'm like washing up and changing underwear like every like hour or two, like later into my pregnancy, because it's thinning more and more because you're getting closer and closer to your due date. So at about like 5 months, I'm literally like at Target once a week, I'm just like buying new underwear so that I don't have to wash every other day. I never knew that happened. No one told me. I went to the doctor like twice, and I'm like, what's this? That's weird. But apparently it's not. It's just gross. See, I can't even fix my face about it because it's just gross. But yeah, that happens too. And I think that's my list. No, contractions. That's fun. So contractions feel just like cramps. I'd read so many articles online and like so many forums and groups where I was trying to figure out how to know the difference between contractions and cramps. Like, how do I know that they're real contractions and not just like Braxton Hicks? And it's because you won't know. They feel pretty much the same. The doctors say to start counting them, but their counting system's weird, and I don't think you ever get it correct, because I was in labor and I didn't know it because they were never like 2 minutes, because they were never like 2 minutes apart or whatever.
Say we want to be on video. Hi, mommy.
Hi.
Say sabotage.
So don't judge them. It's like 6, 7, I don't know. It's early in the morning and they just woke up. So they're all in sleepy eyes and do-rags or whatever. But that's my family. But yeah, I was just saying that the contractions don't feel any different. Like, yeah, they were kind of intense, like cramps, but I always have intense cramps. From my own personal experience, they felt kind of the same. I actually was feeling contractions for a couple of days, where I was like really tossing and turning, having a really hard time sleeping, and I just thought, oh, those stupid Braxton Hicks. And apparently they were more than that, because I was dilated to 4 by the time I got to the hospital. So yeah, but anyways, those were, sorry, my shirt keeps falling down. Anyways, those were my what they don't tell you about pregnancy. I hope that was helpful. I hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to give us a thumbs up if you liked the video, and subscribe. You can also follow us on offtherecord.fa. F is in fashion, A is in awesome. On Instagram. And check out some of our other Mommy and Me videos. I'll put them in the description below. You guys have a good time. Bye.